Do not play Black Ops 6 until you watch this video. This video is going to include all of the information you need to know before hopping into Black Ops 6. Everything you need to know about the campaign, story-wise, so you're completely filled in. But on top of that, multiplayer, how leveling weapons, what the weapons are, and the best way to go about your play experience. We're also going to touch on zombies as well, going over everything you need to know. But we're not going to end there, because we also know how the progression system works in the game, which is one of the most important things to know before you play, because you want the most bang for your buck, leveling up as fast as possible and unlocking as much stuff as possible. So without further ado, let's start with campaign. So when can you play Black Ops 6? So to start things out, the global launch on PC is at midnight on the 25th of October. That is on PC, so if you're on Steam or Battle.net, that is when you can hop into the game. Eastern Standard Time, midnight, the 25th. However, if you were on PlayStation or you were on Xbox, it's midnight in your time zone. So technically, the earliest time possible is midnight on the 25th in New Zealand, which is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 24th, which will be when I start to have content on my channel. So make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on, make sure you're following my Twitch. We're gonna have live streams, everything going up, so stay tuned for that. So as far as campaign goes, you need to know a couple of things as to what is going on in Black Ops 6, but we're gonna keep it vague. First of all, you are playing as a group of soldiers that have essentially gone rogue. They're wanted by the CIA. But as we find out, there are some bad apples in the CIA. Those we will call Pantheon. Russell Adler, Frank Woods, as well as Troy Marshall and a slew of new characters are trying to figure out what is going on with Pantheon, what are they planning, and a way to stop them. Now, this goes back to what happened before the beginning of Black Ops 6, specifically in a game called Black Ops 2. In that game, Frank Woods was aiming down sights into what he believed was Raul Menendez. However, when he pulled that trigger, it was not Raul Menendez. It was his best friend and co-soldier, Alex Mason. Now, Treyarch is telling us he is dead. I don't believe that he is, but that is essentially what is going on. Also, Russell Adler has been missing for years, and we don't know where he has been since the year 1984, which this campaign takes place in 1991. It is during the Gulf War, Saddam Hussein is in there, Pantheon is in there, and that is essentially what you need to know story-wise going into the campaign. Oh yeah, one other thing, for completing the campaign, you're going to get a bunch of rewards that you're going to be able to use in multiplayer and zombies as well. So you may want to consider doing the campaign first. Zombies, there's a lot to know here, but essentially we'll keep it simple. There are two maps going on at the same time. First of all, we have Liberty Falls. On Liberty Falls, Edward Richtofen is doing a project called Project Janus there at the time. And as this happens, a dimensional breach happens, and all of a sudden we have zombies running everywhere. That's a very, very layman's term, very basic explanation of that. At the same time, we have Terminus Island. On Terminus Island, we have our Requiem crew who has been held captive and is now getting saved by Dr. Peck and another person known as Maya. This is going to create our new crew for zombies moving forward throughout the other seasons. Terminus is going to be your in-depth, crazy, ridiculous zombies map taking place at night, and for you hardcore zombies fan, this is probably where you're going to want to start out. We also have Liberty Falls though. Some are saying that this one's a little bit more casual, some are calling it Liberty Balls. As far as gameplay for zombies goes though, we have something new called augments, and basically on every single one of your pieces of gear, whether that be a perk, whether that be a field upgrade, anything along those lines, there's going to be 3 minor and 3 major augments on your gear. So for example, if we have Juggernog, you can actually select one to research, and as you earn XP in zombies, it is going to level up that item, and then you can choose these augments that are going to be completely game changing. So in other words, find what pieces of equipment and what items you are actually going to use first, research those first, that way you have those augments available if you're going for zombies Easter eggs or if you're going for anything else. Now, the other thing that we have in zombies that is kind of new or more so returning is gobblegums. There are various types of gobblegums as you are seeing on screen here, but these gobblegums can be unlocked in 2 ways. Simply by playing the game and going through rounds, you are going to get given random gobblegums seemingly at a strange amount of time, sometimes one, sometimes multiple. We don't know, and we don't know how the rarities work yet, or seemingly buying them in the Call of Duty shop. Again, we don't know whether this is through buying individual gobblegums or buying packs or simply buying bundles which will have gobblegum packs inside of them. So when playing zombies, you may be just playing zombies, but if you're going for that Easter egg, it is not going to be live until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 25th. So convert that to your time zone. That is when the main story goes live for zombies. Before then, you won't be able to complete any Easter eggy stuff. So moving into multiplayer, this is when we're going to get into some more specific items. So starting out with our weapons, assault rifles, we have 7 with the XM4, AK-74, Amy's 85, GPR 91, Model L, Goblin MK2, and finally the AS Val. We have 6 SMGs, which include the C9, KSV, Tonto 22, PP919, the Jackal PDW, the Compact 92. For shotguns, we have the Marine SP, the ASG 89, and the LMGs, we got 3, the PU21, the XMG, as well as the GPMG 7. For marksman rifles, we have the SWAT 556, the Sarkov 762, the AEK 973, the DM10. For sniper rifles, we have the Frostline, aka the LW3A1, the SVD, as well as the LR762. For secondary weapons, our pistols include 9mm PM, the Grekov, I'm probably saying that wrong, the GS45, as well as the Strider 22. For the launchers, you have the Sigma 2B, as well as the HE1. For melee weapons, we have the combat knife, as well as the baseball bat. When it comes to your loadouts, what you are looking at here is a little bit different in multiplayer or zombies, but you have your primary weapon, secondary weapon, a melee weapon, tactical, lethal, field upgrade, which we're going to get into a little bit more, as well as your perks. If you're using 3 of the same color perks, that's going to give you a combat specialist as well as a wild card. Everything you are looking at here is unlocked via the leveling system or prestige system, which we're going to get into in a minute. Looking at your weapon builds are global. So if you build a weapon in multiplayer, you can save it and use the same build in zombies or in Warzone, and Warzone is getting integrated with Season 1. Also, in case you were wondering, stats, in-depth stats are definitely a thing this year, and this is what it's going to look like. So moving into our tacticals, lethals, things along those lines, I'm going to quickly go through these, but tacticals, we've got concussion, flashbang, spy cam, and smoke. We also have proximity alarm, stim shot, decoy, and shock charge. For lethals, frag grenade, sticky grenade, C4, thermo grenade, and impact grenade, as well as Molotov, blast trap, drill charge, combat axe. For field upgrades, we have assault pack, spring mine, trophy system. Field upgrades, scrambler mine, signal lure, war cry, and tactical insertion. And finally, acoustic amp, morphine injector, which is essentially last stand, neurogas, and sleeper agent. Now here is an entire list of the perks. Most of these perks are pretty self-explanatory, and I'm not going to list them all out. Once the game is actually out, I will give you guys some classes pretty quickly as to what the best kind of perks are. But just know when using your perks, if you use 3 of the same color, they are going to give you combat specialties, which are essentially extremely strong perks that are going to be better than just an individual perk. So it's to your benefit to use 3 of the same color, but you don't have to. And also, wild cards are things that can help you. For example, overkill can allow you to use 2 primary weapons, whereas the perk greed allows you to use 1 extra perk, making it easier to use 3 of the same color. And gunfighter allows you to use 3 extra attachments, having a total of 8 attachments on a given weapon. Now, honestly, our score streaks are pretty simple. If you have played Call of Duty before, you should recognize every single one of these score streaks. Literally, there is nothing here that's revolutionary or crazy, so nothing too special going on there whatsoever. Finally, we get to progression. So as far as progression goes, there's a couple different types of progression I think you need to know about. I'm going to keep this simple, and I have much more in-depth videos on all of these things on the channel, which you can just go check it out if you want more in-depth explanations. But first of all, we have our leveling. So this is from 1 to 55, and as you go through 1 to 55, you're going to unlock various different items, whether that be weapons, perks, things along those lines. Weapons, you level up independently. They're not based off of your level, and if you do the next thing, which is prestiging, it will not reset your weapon levels. However, when you do prestige, this is going to reset you back to level 1, put you in a new prestige, and lock everything that you unlocked. So all of those perks, all of those score streaks, everything like that, even gobblegums, get re-locked. Now, once you do prestige, you can enter the prestige hub. So from prestige 1 to prestige 10, each prestige has its own theme. So for example, prestige 1 and 2 are World at War. Prestige 3 and 4 are Black Ops 1, so on and so forth. And each time when you prestige, you're going to get a permanent unlock, which you can use on any of those items that you would later unlock in your progression normally. So you can always have it no matter how many times times your prestige, but you also get like a character skin, weapon blueprints, things along those lines as well. Now, if you work your way up through all 10 prestiges, you can then enter the Master Prestige, which is going to give you access to the blueprint that you are looking at here, as well as the Sitting Bull Reborn Martial Operator skin. And then on top of that, if you hit level 100 in Master Prestige, it is going to give you all of the Prestige 1 icons for all Black Ops games. Hit 200, all of the Prestige 2 for all Black Ops games, all the way up until level 1000 when you unlock Prestige 10 icons for every single Black Ops game, which honestly, I think is pretty cool. There's also a ton of challenges and calling cards for zombies, Warzone, and multiplayer, all of which you can 100%. But if you're into camo grinding for weapons, the game's got that for you too. And once again, zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone. As far as this goes, basically you have military camos. For multiplayer, this is getting headshots all the way up to 100 headshots. These are then going to unlock your specialist camos or special camos. These ones are going to give you independent challenges like get kills shortly after reloading, things like that. These camos unlock for all weapons, whereas your military camos only unlock on an individual weapon. And then we get into our mastery camos with gold, diamond, dark spine, and dark matter. So for gold, you need to get your special camos done on an individual weapon. For diamond, you need to get it done for an entire class. So for example, all assault rifles. For dark spine, you have to get diamond on all weapons and then complete those challenges. And then when you complete all of the dark spine challenges on 33 different weapons, it is going to give you dark matter. We also have reticle customization, which is going to be based off of several different challenges, again, in zombies, in multiplayer, and in Warzone. And then finally, the new thing that we have is mastery badges. Think of it this way. For every single piece of equipment that you have in game, you can basically level them up, getting various different amount of kills or kills while people are within a scrambler or things along those lines. This is going to allow you to complete challenges. And by the time you get all of your assault rifles gold, for example, you then get the diamond badge for assault rifles. These are going to be displayed in game in your showcase, as well as if you end up in the winner's circle. But again, these are not just in multiplayer, they're in zombies as well. The grind this year is deeper than any game before. We've got Dark Ops challenges, we got camo challenges, and everything in between. So now that you know everything that is going to be in the game at launch, maybe you can decide the best way you want to go at things, what you want to play first. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on. Appreciate you being here. The launch is going to be crazy, so make sure you're subscribed. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars.